Yo, lateness is greatness. Welcome back into the building. You already know what time it is. It's time for another all-you-can-eat Chelsea episode. And I seen Lancho here just minimum 10 minutes later. I was like, I will not let this man defeat me today. I was like, there's no chance. I am starting on the 9 right before he predicts it. Apologies, guys. We always have a chit-chat before we start. It gets the chemistry going. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, unlike our attack, this trio has some chemistry and cohesion. Do you understand? So just allow us. Sometimes we just have to have a little catch up. Our attack could do with some of that. Maybe they could learn from us. Do you know what I mean? This front three, it would bang goals. Do you understand? It would bang goals. Miz, welcome back, bro. A day early. Do you know what I mean? I said to myself, do you know what? First of all, Toby's in the middle of Greece. Grinding up on every female I've ever seen in my life. And I thought to myself, what we need to do is swap the days because that brother's gone. And perfectly, this comes a day early because obviously we had Zenit last night, so it's immediate reaction. But first of all, before we get into that, which is going to bring down the tone and mood of this show, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm just as soon as you said Greece, I was thinking about Greek girls. Man, they're fine, man. I actually know some Greek girls around my area. But I mean, I'm American. I'm just saying, like my neighbors, you know, good looking, very good looking.
Don't dig a hole, mate. Don't dig a hole.
Yeah. Before you guys get any, ideas. But yeah, man. Look, I know the attack hasn't been great, but I think what we can be proud about is getting the 3 points, getting the job done. So very happy about that. Really, really excited to now move in and, can't wait for the Spurs game, to be honest, and absolutely punish them.
That is the feeling, like, honestly, and just move on to the next, innit, with Spurs. It's that we're going to get into it, but it really is that feeling. Younes, bro, how are you? Welcome back. It's been not even a week. Now we're starting to squash the days. It's beautiful.
6 days. It's lovely. I'm good, man. Obviously, yesterday was good at the end of the day. Happy days. It's a win. But yeah, because of that, I'm feeling calm. And yeah, right now, look, bring on the Spurs. Let's keep this going. Let's keep this going, man. I'm good. I hope all of you are doing well too, and everyone watching.
Yeah, I mean, listen, big up to the chat. Obviously, for the ones that
shout out Toby in Greece. Sorry.
Yeah, for the ones that have got either notifications on or just super active on my socials, then obviously you're catching this a day early. You know, there's going to be a cluster fuck of people tomorrow at 11 a.m. saying, "Oh my God, what's the show on?" It was yesterday.
They'll see it uploaded 1 day ago.
Uploaded, yeah. This is what happens when you're not staying on point. This is what things can happen. You can get lost in the smoke if you're not on point. But hey, it is what it is. You'll catch it a day late. You can get it on playback value. But we're not going to talk about this game for the whole show because I feel like that would be an injustice to the game because the game does not deserve a whole show anyway. But we'll start off by talking about the game. Because it was a drag. I did a watch along for it. I know Younes did as well. Miz, you didn't, did you? You missed this this festivities that we can, this all action packed game. You missed.
I did a watch along as well.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Apologies. You shouldn't have to go through that. For me personally, I want to start on this attack because that's where the lack of creativity, the lack of a cohesion, as we said in the title, really stems from. Because first half, I mean, seriously, Aston Villa, Lukaku's out here taking chances that, he's outperforming really probably his XG. I'm not looking into the stats, but it's probably looking like that, the way that he's scoring the goals in that Aston Villa game. And then in this game as well, the lack of opportunities that he was given, again, taking the one really clear-cut chance that he gets from the Aspie cross. Ziyech and Mount weren't good in this game. There was just nothing there. And I feel like to get the ball rolling, I feel like they don't actually complement each other one bit. They're the actual two players that I would say are in competition with each other because they can both play that number 8 / number 10 role where they drop deeper and maybe funnel into the midfield. Ziyech is capable of doing that with Ajax, funnel into midfield, working hard and being that guy. And also just to give himself more space is to drop deep as well, maybe pick up the ball and start to dictate and have this free role. And Mason Mount the same. I just don't see the need for two of them, because then it means no one's really in the box. No one's alongside Lukaku, doubling up with the centre-backs and causing havoc in beyond. It felt like everything we was doing was very much in front of the Zenit defence. We didn't ever, test them going in beyond or stretching them in any way. It was just very much in front of you. There you are. And they just set up, like a block. And we went wide a lot in that first half and tried crossing. And really, to be honest, it was exactly what they wanted, apart from the actual goal, which was ironically from a cross. But in the first half, they dealt with everything that we posed, and really the crosses had no quality on them anyway. There was overhit. But the few times in the first half where we did penetrate the centre of the defence and we started to fizz the ball in, we started to look dangerous. We didn't create anything clear cut, but we looked dangerous. I mean, Miz, what did you make of the first half with those attackers? Because no attacker behind Lukaku this season has cemented their place in this team. Not Kai, not nobody.
I mean, I completely hear Matisse, absolutely hear. I do want to say one thing though. I think we might have underrated Zenit a little bit. I think they've defensively, and I was saying it in my watch along as well, that the structure that they had 5-3-2 at times or 5-4-1.
Yeah.
And the way they sort of created that, they were so compact, so disciplined. They did not, and their man marking was on the point. Whenever we wanted to find that reference point with Lukaku, there were two defenders on him straight away and hustling him. So it was very difficult for him. He was surrounded by proper disciplined defenders. But you're right. At the end of the day, Mason and Ziyech, I'll start with Ziyech because everyone thinks, well, I do love Ziyech. It's not about everyone thinking. That's exactly what it is. But I was going to say everyone thinks I love Ziyech. No, I do love Ziyech.
Guilty.
I have to say, he cannot have a poor game against Aston Villa and then follow it up with another poor game with Zenit. You can't. Your season is on the line, Hakim Ziyech. Your season is literally on the line. You can't afford to have two bad games in a row. I know the opposition was difficult to break open, but that's you're the creative sort of player out of all of those Mount, Havertz, Werner. You're the out and out creative player. And if your passes are getting intercepted on a regular basis, or you're getting dispossessed, or when you're trying to dribble, you're tripping over the ball, that's not going to look good on you. Like, I don't know what he's done in Aston Villa game and the Zenit game to say that he warrants a place against Spurs. I really don't know. So that's that. I've now been honest about Ziyech. Mason Mount. And I beg the live chat, please have some mercy on me, because every time I talk about Mason Mount, everyone starts thinking I'm some sort of a hater, this, that. No, I'm talking logically. Mason is a very good player, don't get me wrong. Without the ball, his pressing, counter-pressing, the way he intercepts, wins the ball up front, brilliant. But with the ball, I know you're going to throw stats at me that he creates a lot, this, that. He does. But he's not your genuine creator. You know what I'm talking about? The genuine sort of playmaker. It doesn't come naturally for him. Those big key passes, those moments when to dribble, or when just that decision making, it's not natural to him at times. I know we've seen him produce a fantastic assist for Havertz in the Champions League final. I know we've seen him produce that assist for Callum Hudson-Odoi against Rennes last season, and he's done it in several other moments as well. But I'm talking about Chelsea Football Club needing that specialty. So, yeah, at the moment, Havertz, Mount, Ziyech, Callum, we might as well just, I don't know what's going on here with Callum. I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest. We need something, because it can't just be Lukaku, man. And it can't be Azpilicueta twice now, last game and this game as well.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, we're going to run out. The whole thing about expected goals, right? You know how the expected goals, I think the expected goals for Aston Villa was 1.32 and we scored 3.
Yeah.
And the expected goal against Zenit was less than 1, and we scored
0.89, and we scored
0.82 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
What
Anyone
this
tracking my
basically
expected sleeps after that performance?
what this basically means is in the long run, it will balance out. You can't last the whole season above expectation.
This is Tottenham all over again with Harry Kane and Heung-min Son.
Exactly. So it will balance out. So we do need to start looking at all these other players you got to click. You got to start clicking. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, before I throw it to Younes, firstly, I think on Ziyech, the only thing that really does frustrate me, I remember we was talking about before the international break, and he obviously picked up the injury. And I was saying, Ziyech, when he comes back, he's got to show that consistency within the first 2 games. Because in this position, you can't afford to have 2 bad games, as you said, because there's no breathing space. There's no allowance for that. There's too many players. Now, unfortunately, the reason why everyone's getting rotated is because everybody's not playing very well right now. I feel like partly it's because maybe we're at the start of the season. They haven't had time to really get used to Lukaku yet. I don't know how much more time I want to allow for that, though. Because Lukaku's coming and hit the ground running. It really should be him that's not on the peak of his powers, because he's getting used to them, not the other way around. But yeah, I just think there's nowhere to hide for these attacking midfielders, because Lukaku is going to exceed his XG quite a lot of the time, which means we're going to see now how many chances you really create, because this brother's putting them in. It's not like you've got the excuse of the chances being missed. I mean, Younes, what do you make of it all, bro, with these attackers in this game?
I mean, for Mason specifically, I'm going to try and reference all 3 here. So for Mason, I'm hoping it's a bad game. Basically, just a one-off. And, it looks like he's had a dip in form. And I think that comes from the international break as well. So we'll see. Yesterday, he was bad. Him and Ziyech were bad in different areas. It was more Mason Mount was bad in the context of on the ball, as Miz mentioned. Every time he's trying to lay off a pass, he doesn't get the man. Every time he tries to make a decision one-on-one, he doesn't know what to do. He goes back to the safe option. And it's just a case of he just looked like he was in a box, right? And every time he tried to do something, it just went wrong. Ziyech, I felt like, didn't actually make serious errors, but what he did was every time he had a chance to shoot, for example, he'd shoot and there's a defender right in front of him and it's getting blocked, and we can all see it's getting blocked. He still goes ahead with it. Those little things, which we didn't really see from Mason. It's like 2 different sort of errors coming from the 2 players, but at the end of the day, it created nothing for us. Lukaku is a godsend. Honestly, he's absolutely. It's so good that we have a striker at the club now, a proper in and out striker. But as you've mentioned, the good thing with Lukaku is that, and he's spoken about this individually, when he was in Italy, Conte managed to mold him into someone that just became really clinical. And he knew he had to do that because in Italy, there wasn't a lot of chances being created. So every time he got a chance, he knew he had to bury it. And he kind of got trained on that. And Conte kind of, helped him to adapt. And he's managed to bring that to Chelsea, which is nice, because when it comes to games like yesterday, where we don't actually create that much, you get the one opportunity, he puts it in the net. So we're lucky. But how long are you going to, rely on that for? Absolutely. I think hopefully yesterday was a case of Zenit just defending really well, and shout out to Zenit, because I don't think I don't think it'll be fair to not give credit toZenit.
Bro, they countered well as well.
Really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the case. I'm seeing a few people saying, "Oh, they were defensive. They parked the puck." No. They were very, very good defensively, and they were brave, and they had a plan, and they had a tactic, and it nearly worked. They did create chances, but they were patient. And I think defensively, they came up with a style that made life hard for our front 3. Not so much Lukaku, but Mason Mount and Ziyech. We'll see what happens when Havertz comes back into the fold properly. I think there's a case of rotation because of the international break. I think because of the schedule. The rest of September, we now have 5 games. And it's currently the 15th of September. So 2 weeks, pretty much. We've got 5 games to play. It's not easy. So there is going to be rotation. And I think that needs to be taken into context. But I'm confident that as we start really getting into the midst of the season, Havertz, I'm sure, will probably be a main starter. Mason Mount probably end up hitting form again. Ziyech will have to try and really pluck something out, as Miz said, because if not, he's going to be on the bench. Simple. Pulisic, when he comes back, if he's fit, remember that probably would have suited him yesterday if he was fit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's many
I
factors.
love how we say if he was fit.
If he was fit.
You know what as well? There's three things I think that we have and that there's missing. Let me read out these super chats first before I get into them. OS says, my first game back at the bridge since lockdown, atmosphere was beautiful, absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
and to see big Rom, man, I've missed this. Big up, bro. I'm glad you got to go to the game. I think
it was the first full capacity. I think even last season we didn't have it. So
really,
the first full European.
It had the fireworks at the start as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That looked unreal. All those images that were going up on Twitter looked really, really cool. And obviously the players got awarded their UEFA awards as well before the game. So I think that was probably the most exciting part. Pycroft says Mason had a bad game, but he is one of those who could turn up with a masterclass on Sunday. Would love to see Werner and Lukaku against Spurs. It's the ideal combo for how Spurs play. So one of my points is about the combinations, right? I think last season we learned we have a couple of attacking combinations. Ziyech and Werner complement each other. They complement each other. We saw it against Atletico Madrid at home. We saw it against Manchester City. And one thing Ziyech needs is he needs runners. And there was nobody really making those runs in beyond. Maybe because the defense was so low block and they were so, in good shape. But that's where you need Werner, because Werner will disturb that shape and make those runs and create havoc. That's what he does.
Ziyech was the one left to make that run. Because Lukaku was the one holding up and waiting for people to go off him.
But this is why it wasn't balanced. Yeah. Because like you have no runners. Mason and Ziyech, they're not your out and out runners off the ball. So it was just all one-way traffic, all very one-dimensional. So that was the first issue. And obviously Mason Mount, you would really just pair him up with Kai at this point. That seems to be the front three: Kai, Lukaku, Mason, which everybody seems to be, pushing for. So I would you just pair those. And what you do then is you get one 8/10, and you get another person who's a false 9/striker, whatever you want, winger in Kai or Werner to double up in the box with Lukaku. So it's better that we try and establish some sort of chemistry here. Also, like you said, we didn't have Pulisic. Now, one thing this team lacks is consistent end product from final ball, because I don't think anybody here has got consistent final ball end product. Even Ziyech can overhit his crosses, but he's the one you would hang your hat on more time. Mount definitely isn't consistent in this regard. Pulisic's not consistent in this regard. Werner's not. So they're all very we don't have that end product specialist, that one matter, if you will, that person that just makes the right decision every time. And there's no real surprise because most of our attackers are young, but they don't have that one matter type end product, final decision, playmaker type, characteristic about them. And we didn't have the dribbler in Pulisic, which was a miss, because when you're trying to disturb a defensive shape, one thing you need to do is you need to offer them some sort of headache in terms of when you're traveling with the ball. And Eden Hazard used to do it brilliantly. Yeah. We come up against a low block. Eden Hazard picks up the ball and he starts committing defenders because he's running at them, he's dragging them out of their position, and he's either playing 1-2s with others who are now getting more space, or he's just going past them himself, drawing fouls or getting past people. Then you're committing centre backs, moving them out, and they've got to come and get you. And then now you've created little gaps in the defense for you to find an opening. We didn't have anyone doing that. Everybody just passes to feet. Everybody needed it perfect. It was like we was trying to, as per usual, as I keep saying, we tried to score the perfect goal. We need everybody to pass to feet. We need everything to go smoothly. We don't have anybody who can do something out of nothing. We don't have a long-range shooter that can just, that's cool, you're going to set. No, but we'll just shoot. We don't have that. And, you look at Lampard, Essien, I keep going back to these guys. They would have just shot from 25 yards. And at some point, again, if you have long-range shooters that the team that you're playing against have to pay respect to, if they see you on the edge of the area, lining it up, they have to come out. And either then you can take the shot or you can pass around them and get in behind them. So it allows you, again, to disturb the shape. We don't have anybody that can shoot from range. So they just say, we're just going to sit here. You can pop off your shots if you want, and we're not going to move. You're not going to dribble around us. You're not going to shoot. So the best thing you're going to be able to do is score the perfect goal, and we're going to try and prevent that. So I think those are the three, glaring things that we lack to move this type of team But yeah, credit to Zenit, they were really good.
I just want to add something as well on top of that, Matisse. I don't know if you guys, and Younes as well, I'm not sure if you guys seen this quote been floating around. They recently asked Pep Guardiola about moving the ball around. Do you know what I mean? Like the way how Man City moves the ball. And Pep said,
wide.
We don't move the ball, we move the opposition. Like there's a difference here. So about moving the ball around, that's people think that, but Man City moves the ball around. The whole concept of their football is we got to learn how to move the opposition around. And this is, I think, what Matisse is talking. It was too easy for Zenit to hold that structure of 5-4-1 or 5-3-2 and be so compact, be so disciplined. Had we had like the runners or someone who's capable of shooting for long range or dribblers, you would then move the opposition around. That game was just too easy for Zenit to hold their position because they know we were going nowhere. As much as Lukaku tried his best to hold the ball up and look to link up, it was just too much for one person. So it is something that we do need to think about because we are going to come across many teams like that in the Premier League that they're going to look for that same sort of game plan. Hold, counter. Unless you have like an Aston Villa, like a Maverick that thinks that, you know what, we're going to try and go toe-to-toe with you guys. We're going to try and press you high up and go for the long ball, look out for the second ball opportunities and create chaos on your third and bypass the whole midfield BS that you guys have going on with Jorginho and Kovacic. We don't want to get into that because we can't match that. So it really depends how people want to play us.
Zenit done a good job, especially by being able to keep Jorginho and Kovacic at bay with the way that they set up. Your point is, and shout out to Coded Photography in the chat who's mentioned it because I saw it on my watch along. Rio Ferdinand mentioned the exact same thing as you did just now yesterday at halftime when we were 0-0 at halftime. We were slow in that first half. And there were moments, as you said, in terms of what you referenced, Pep saying that you're trying to move the opposition. And that's exactly what Rio said in terms of passing side to side through your midfield, for example. A lot of people look at that and go, they're passing sideways. But sometimes there is a reason. If you're moving it quick enough, you're able to possibly get some space in behind on one of the flanks, for example. You're able to shift your opponents from left to right until you find an opportunity and you go through. But what we did yesterday, and Rio and Aluko both mentioned this, and Joe Cole, there was just one example where Mason Mount was on that left-hand side, calling from Jorginho, who had it just past the centre circle. And he could have literally just gone straight diagonal to Mason Mount, and that probably would have saved some time. Mount was calling for it. He didn't. He went via Kovacic, and then Kovacic looked to his left, took a couple of more steps, and then passed it to Mason Mount. In that time, Zenit have already shifted.
Yeah.
It's just those little things, those little details where we got to be quicker. Because if we were quicker, we probably would have got more chances. And it did look like in that first half we were slow. Second half, we ended up being a little bit quicker, and thank good for that. But yeah, that point was mentioned, and those little fine details are where you can get goals from. So yeah, we've got to fix up with that.
Yeah, it's something that I expect to improve, though. I think something once we get a little bit deeper into the season, I expect these chemistries to be formed. I think it is better when these teams come onto us a little bit, like you said, because it just creates more space for us in behind the transition. That's where Mason Mount will thrive a lot more, and Ziyech as well. Like these guys last season when we were coming up in the latter rounds of the Champions League, the reason why we were so good is because these teams like Real Madrid, like Man City, they wanted to attack us, and that just leaves space. And this team can defend, so we don't have to worry about a team trying to attack us. It's then just gives us more space to attack and create more chances. But yeah, it was a little bit of a ball fest, a little bit of a snooze fest. Let's get on to the good points because, as per usual, the back end of the team, perfect. Again, they do their job. They don't concede. Jorginho and Kova in midfield were really good. That chemistry is very clear as day. The defense was strong. Rudiger made that run in the second half.
I was going to mention that. Zuma 2.0.
If he had scored, I lost it in my watch. I was like, what is he doing? Oh my God, he's cutting in. Whoa. Oh, that looked like it was almost going to go in.
It was a carbon copy of Zuma.
Against Ajax, isn't it?
Hit
Yeah,
into Rosed and Rudiger went
Zuma
bottom
absolutely skied it.
Now we got to wait until next season for another defender to do it now, I guess, innit? And hopefully score.
Rudiger looks like he wants to score one of them goals this season. Like, again, just continuously attempting these runs and trying to do some sort of Eden Hazard against West Ham thing. It's just mad.
I do want to say, we've now all noticed Rudiger do this under Tuchel quite often. Barnstorming runs from that left side, trying to break open something and really open up the game. I feel like he needs to probably spend a few hours per week in training. Shoot, mate, you're attempting it.
True.
You might as well now.
Might as well,
Yeah.
You might as well train it. There was a bit of a funny sort of joke that was going around. I think he Instagrammed, like he put a post on Instagram, and then Didier said, brother, I thought you almost scored. And Rudiger replied back saying, can you teach me how to score? And I was going to say, mate, can you start training? Because you are attempting this a lot. So maybe just put that effort, like just basic shooting efforts. So he gets into really tasty situations, man. Like if he just has that, it's a goal.
Could be a way for us to score goals. We have a shooting problem. And hopefully with Saul in the team, if he does feature, then hopefully he can help solve that. But if Rudiger can somehow start shooting, sometimes we need it. Like yesterday, that would have been perfect to have someone just come past the halfway line, tap it a little forward with a low block, hit it, top bins. Why?
Yeah. It's times like this where when you look back on David Luiz, he would have been brilliant in these scenarios. He used to score some absolute belters. Yeah, Alex was another one who used to smack them in from range as well. It's crazy the amount of good shooters we used to have in the team, like across the board, from the top to the back end. We used to have a shooter in each department, but now it seems to be like
Carvalho used to know how to score.
Yeah, he did actually score against Manchester United, and did he not get a couple of others as well against some other decent strikes? Was there one against Tottenham as well at home?
Gallas,
that was Gallas scored an absolute crazy goal. Yeah.
Gallas knew how to score.
Someone said Chaloba as well. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I need to see that again before I can really say that. He's going to be dependable on that one. It's a great strike from him, though, I must say. But yeah, the defense was just, rock solid as usual. Can I just say, Christiansen, because we spoke about Rudiger a lot in terms of his transformation. Christiansen looks like a new man, honestly. Like he is almost, transformed 180 completely here into some other specimen, because the guy is just so asserted, so assured, so comfortable, so dominant in the air, dominant on the ground, positioning on point. I'm honestly flabbergasted with the change that he's had this year. It's been incredible to watch. Incredible. I mean, Miz, what have you made of that?
Love it, man. Love it. I mean, I can't wait till he signs that contract extension. I believe it's just around the corner. From all the big news outlets out there, the big journalists out there have been saying that it is more or less very close. We do have obviously situations about contract extensions at the moment. Obviously, Rudiger is another one. But yeah, Christiansen, I think he has to be someone we build the future sort of defense around. He's still young. Slowly he will move into the prime ages. And consistency, as we've said, the front sort of players, the inside forwards, haven't really shown consistency on a regular basis, whereas our defense shown immense consistency. And under Thomas Tuchel, it just gets better and better and better. I mean, what is it? I saw some ridiculous amount of minutes from Nizar. He quoted 640 minutes this season, including the extra time against Villarreal. One goal. Do you know what I mean? Or 2 goals, obviously, Villarreal. So 2 goals.
One goal in open play anyway.
Oh, 1 goal in open play with the Villarreal and 1 penalty. So incredible, man. Incredible stuff. So, yeah, man, Christiansen, I think we're going to see a lot of it. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, what about Thiago Silva? I think Thiago Silva will probably play that 1 game a week, and Christiansen will mostly play 2 a week with, 2 on the either end of the weekends and then 1 in the middle. But yeah, man, I'm very, very happy with Christiansen, honestly, and hopefully he signs that contract extension. He's very underrated, Matisse. You're right. Not many people talk about him. rival fans barely say anything about him. He needs to be up there with one of the top defenders in world football. Even in international scenes, he's been doing really well for
that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
So, man,
in another team, in another formation, he's been just as good. So it's not just a Tuchel Chelsea thing as well. I mean, who else impressed you from this game, Younes? I know it's obviously a difficult question, but anybody else, or you can obviously speak about Christensen if you wish it, but who impressed you really in this game in terms of good points?
Kovacic, man.
Yeah, Kovacic.
What a player. he's turning into a little bit of a machine. Yeah. Since he's taken that number 8, it's like he evolved. You know, it's like you've gone from, Pikachu to Raichu.
Gotta catch them all, bro. Gotta catch them
all. No, honestly, Kovacic has been fantastic in everything that he does now, in all aspects of his game, offensively or defensively. Class. And in terms of his dribbling, bombing forward, his through balls, his passing, his cross diagonals, everything is just brilliant.
Even the defensive side of it as well, Younes, like interceptions, tackles.
Yeah. Beautiful. So it's put a little bit of a spanner in the works here, because when Kante comes back, what do? You know, and we've got Saul. the one
remember
time
us speaking about this
might not hit form. It's now he's done it, and it's like, okay, crap. What do we do? Kante's gonna have to come back in, but Jorginho's gonna have to play. But Kovacic is in the form of his life. But Saul can't just sit there doing nothing.
He can. Trust me, he can.
Well, he can now.
Saul can sit there doing nothing. If he plays the way he played, I know obviously I'm just joking around here, but if he plays the way he played the last time, he can sit there. No problem about it. Just wait. Like, I don't want to rush Saul because he doesn't look ready for the tempo of this league right now. Obviously, he came in. It was a bit of a shock to him, shock to the system. Brother was playing so slowly, like as if he had all the time in the world. I'm like, bro, like it's like seeing someone helpless on the Tube network during rush hour, and they're just like moving down the escalator at their own pace. I was like, you will be pushed down these stairs if you don't move. Like, this is not a joke. This is not a drill. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is rush hour, bitch. Move.
So true. So I've seen that in London, man. Literally, flocking in, and there's that one person just slowly walking, and you're like looking at their face. Why aren't you rushing? What's going on?
Why are you not rushing?
Know one thing that is it's just a London thing as well. Let me just say that.
Really,
you go to other parts of the country, they are chilled. Come to London, everyone's just going at 200 miles an hour. It's ridiculous.
Saul was like at a platform at 5 p.m. after work, just waiting for a train. Everybody's just pushing past him, and he's not getting on any of these trains. And I'm just like, Saul, you got to get your elbows out, man. If you're gonna get on a train, you have to stand up for yourself. And he's just like, I don't know, fuck it.
He thought he was playing against Eibar or Getafe.
Oh my days.
Oh, but yeah, he's gonna get there. He just needs a bit of time, but there's no need to rush him. Do you know what I mean? He's probably in La Liga mode. And because we've got the other 3 on form, there's no need to rush him at all. I mean, Kova, like you said, has just been immense. So far this season, he's been way more aggressive with his passing. He scored a really, really good goal on the weekend as well. And then he has another great performance yesterday. So it's difficult, but this is exactly what happened at the start of Tuchel's time last season. Kova and Jorginho were playing really well as well. Kante was injured, or he was out, and people were like, how are we going to get Kante into the team? Well, at some point, he'll get in. Do you know what I mean? This is it. This is the beauty of having three top players. And I feel like you're right. I don't feel like Kova's appreciated enough by this fan base at all. I see so many times people are waiting, almost enthusiastic to replace him. And I'm like, I don't think you understand what we have. I really don't. I really don't think so. I think a long time now people have been trying to replace Jorginho, and they've realized, okay, cool, he's not going anywhere. He's too good. Now let's move on to Kova. And now Kova's like, well, excuse me, I'm really good as well. So I feel like, yes, we want to move on to the next gen. You know, people are talking about the Gallaghers, the Gilmores. People want to move on to the next, age for these guys, the next generation. But you can't rush the process because these guys are still balling. So unfortunately for you guys who wants to move them on.
I want to make about that, you bring it up, and it just made me think. It's crazy. I don't know if it's a modern day thing or if it's a generational thing. Right, I'm probably going to sound old here, but there's people, as you've mentioned, that are waiting for Kovacic to make a mistake. People waiting for Mount to make a mistake. People waiting for Jorginho to make a mistake. People waiting for Ziyech to make a mistake. Even Havertz, like this didn't exist before. Do you remember, like with like JT and Didier and all that? Even with players like Belletti and flipping Bosingwa and Malouda.
Oh, Jeremy.
No one. Jeremy. Right, Phillips. No one waited for someone to make a mistake back then. Is that just me? Everyone was like, "Yeah, come on, Chelsea, come on, you boys." That's it. Yeah. What happened?
It's the new thing, bro. It's the youngsters. They want to see new players. They want to see their players. It was. I don't know if you guys get the same treatment in your watch-alongs. It'll be interesting to see. Like I literally had just before Lukaku scored that goal, right? Someone said to me in the watch-along, "What has Lukaku done in this whole game? What is he doing?" And as I was commenting to that person, I was saying, dude, what are you expecting from Lukaku when there's 5 set of defenders, 3 always on him? Every time he's getting the ball, at least he's holding up nicely to lay off the ball.
It's very efficient,
Very efficient. And as I was speaking, Aspie put in the cross, he leaps up and he scores. And I said, you know what? Do you have something to say now? Do you now have something to say? Because you need to apologize. And this is the thing. I don't know whether it's like obviously people know I'm in my 30s. Younes is getting close to his 30s. Matisse is in sort of like the mid-20s, getting to the later stage. I think because we're a lot more mature. We've seen a lot more football and we've seen many different phases of this football club. Maybe we just know, like we appreciate and we understand the roles. Not everyone understands, and I'm not boasting or anything out there. Like I'm just saying, because we invest in watching football so much that we understand the roles of different positions in the football in the football field a lot more, and that's why we're a bit more calm about things.
Yeah,
whereas
Lukaku had a great performance.
Like the common fan will come in and just be like, "Oh, that guy's shit," or "That guy's X, Y, and Z," or "Cover's not doing." And you go, "Oh man, you must not watch football."
It's either heaven or hell, isn't it? I think Lukaku, with what he was tasked up against, the lack of creativity behind him, plus that defense, he was brilliant. You know, again, you get one clear-cut chance, you take it. The header wasn't really, it was a difficult one. And again, the hold-up play, I keep saying it. He has refined and smoothened up his game. His hold-up play is brilliant. It's great. It's exactly what you need. He gets the ball, he gets it into him. You fizz it into him at any speed, and he always gets it under control. I haven't seen the ball bobble off of him yet in terms of when we're fizzing it into him from the midfielders. They like to do that, and he is the reference point. And I saw a lot of people in the chat were saying, now that we have a reference point, it's kind of making the other guys always look to him. And then if he's not available now, they don't know what to do. Listen, this is part and parcel with having a new striker. You have to play, there's no point having a great striker if you don't play him the ball. So, of course, he's going to be a reference point and we're maybe going to over-rely on him. Just like Barcelona over-relied on Messi all these years. If you have a top player, you're going to over-rely on them. We did it with Eden Hazard. So, the only thing we can do is not really moan about Lukaku for that reason. We should then improve our attacking midfielders so we don't have to over-rely on them. So they're on his level. And either that's going to come from self-development or that's going to come from replacing. Paulo Bear says... Polo Bear. I don't know why I struggle with that because I've seen Polo Bear in him multiple times.
I love it, Matisse. I love it. We can't have a stream without you stuffing up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Such a simple thing to pronounce. What is wrong
Almost
with me?
said Pablo Bear.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't know what I saw. I just saw something else to what was on my screen. Do you think we have the attacking players better suited out of the three at the back and will Tuchel change? Seems like teams that sit back are starting to figure it out. This is how I see it personally before the boys jump in. I'll let Younes jump in. So he made a little face there. We got 2 wing backs, which effectively become wingers. And we've got 2 attacking midfielders and a striker. So we're attacking with 5, plus 2 central midfielders who are meant to punch the ball into them. So we haven't got less attacking players in this formation. That's the first thing. Now, I think the main issue is that the 2 attacking midfielders haven't got the creativity at the moment or the chemistry or the cohesion to create stuff, create things and be dynamic. And they were a bit too similar yesterday. So that was the first issue. And then also the wing backs they're not able to take on their defenders or position players 1v1. They're not acting as wingers. They're playing in winger positions, but they're not able to do winger-like things. And that's the issue because If you have a winger out there and you're 1v1, you take your man on and you get delivery into the box, or you cut in, or you link up and do combination play. These guys, they need the space. They are wing backs, you know, half wing back, half fullback in terms of Reece, but they're not able to do what wingers do when they're in winger positions. They need the space to advance into to be dangerous. They can't make the space for themselves. They can't do a dribble like a Pulisic and create something, you know, from a tight space and a tight situation. They need to be moving into a zone where there's space, where there's an overload on one side. You switch to play, much like against Arsenal. Reece finds himself in space, bang, he's able to perform. Alonso many times throughout his wing-back career as well. Give him a bit of space and he can be dangerous, he can shoot. But when you square up to them as a defender, they can't skip around you. And that's the issue with those guys as well. So it's partly maybe why the team, you know, we're looking at Hakimi or looking at wing backs, because they just want someone that 1v1 or even a Damatroy 1v1, they can get past their man and create that extra bit of space. We're used to now passing people off the pitch. So, and that showed in the goal against Villa. I think the third goal, we just passed them off the pitch. We got the ball back in midfield and we went all the way back, went round to Aspie, and then the goal from Lukaku. I'm not sure how many passes it was, but it was quite impressive. So yeah, I mean, Younes, how do you feel about it in terms of people always hinting at formation change? How do you feel about it? I feel like we talk about this every week about formation change.
I was just gonna say, this is the thing. We've spoken about this, so you know this isn't new. You got to realize it's not black and white, which is just like the point we made just a few minutes ago. Things are not so black and white. You know, nowadays, especially with the way that we set up. Yes, we're technically 3 at the back, right? But you know, yesterday, here's an example. Zenit St. Petersburg were 4 at the back. But when they were defending, they had a 5.
Yeah.
You know, during a game, and we talk about this pretty much all the time, I think, you can shift, you can alter, you can play with multiple formations technically in one match. You can alter from system to system within a system. It's not a case of, all right, we've got a back 3, that's it. That's not how it works. There are moments in a game where you will see against certain opponents where Chelsea will technically shift to a back 4, and you won't realize it unless if you're paying attention. And then when we're back on transition again, we go back to a back 3. There's multiple little combinations and different styles that you can go with in a formation based on the opponent that you're playing, based on how they're set up, based on the players that they have. Another example would be Aston Villa. You know, they had 3 centre midfielders. In terms of going up against Jorginho and Kovacic, we had 2. So in that moment, you think, okay, are we going to get a Havertz and a Ziyech to come back and make a 4? And that's going to be a little battle in itself, you know, out of context, regardless of the formation. That is something that's going on and you've got to pay attention to. So there's multiple different combinations and elements that comes into a factor to determine how you're going to play, regardless of if you're set up as a back 3 or a back 4. It's multiple things. So if one way isn't working, there isn't just one way. There's another way you can always go, and you can still stick with the same formation and get a result. That's just the modern science of football now. It's developed so far. And I think Thomas Tuchel is probably the most shrewd and the most switched on when it comes to that sort of thing. So I'm confident, even in the back 3, it'll be fine.
Big up to Grizz as well. I saw Grizz in the comments there when I scrolled up. Big up to you, bro. Former guest of the All You Can Eat Chelsea show. OS says, you guys think we can break the 15-goal record? I'm guessing he means from the striker, Miz. I'm not sure.
Probably does, probably.
Yeah, I mean, Lukaku should break that. Yeah,
he will.
Yeah, I don't see Lukaku not breaking that.
It's the Lukaku Ronaldo show this season, I think. But yeah.
Oh, isn't it just? They both scored yesterday as well.
Except one lost to Young Boys and one didn't.
By the way, shout out to Young Boys, man. Wow. Kudos to Young Boys. And that group has Benfica and Atalanta next up. So see what happens with Man United. But Matisse, I just want to bring something up. I just want to quickly show people the Bayern Munich lineup. And I want to highlight where we kind of lack a little bit in terms of, you know, our sort of input. Look, our team is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Our team is very strong. We don't necessarily have out and out sort of weakness anywhere, but I do want to highlight, you look at this Bayern Munich team, and I'm
not sure a couple of minutes, lads.
Yeah. Go for it, bro.
Matisse, I'm not sure if you, and the live chat as well, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the highlights or you got to see the match for Bayern Munich against Barcelona. I know Barcelona is not the same Barcelona anymore. I saw the highlights. The way Bayern moves the ball, Matisse, is just liquid. It is literally liquid football. And a lot of it is this brother here, Davies and Pavard, they get in on the act and they overlap, they underlap. And then you've got players like Sane who are so good one-on-one, great at dribbling, great at shooting, great at crossing, great at movement. Musiala is another absolute...
He's a gem. I'm not going to lie. We missed out.
As well. Chelsea.
Do you know what's funny about him is that obviously they hunted Hudson-Odoi for so long and then they ended up taking him. No one really noticed because they just went through the back door and took Musiala off us.
Bro, this guy's ahead of Hudson-Odoi now. This guy's ahead of
he's one hell of a player right now. He is serious player.
And then obviously they've got Lewandowski, we've got Lukaku, so it's not like we're losing too much from that. But then they've got Thomas Muller, so underrated, boys. So good with his quality of passing, his movement, his shooting ability. So clever player. I feel like these are the areas, the Sane areas, the Musiala areas, the Davies areas, the Pavard areas, and that one sort of clever player, which we all sort of thought, okay, maybe that can be Mount, maybe that can be Ziyech, but they're not consistent enough on a regular basis. Goretzka and Kimmich, I probably would say we get just as much from Kovacic and Jorginho. Yeah. But the thing with Goretzka and Kimmich is you're going to get goals. They get goals. They not only control midfield, but they give you goals. They know exactly when to drift in. And so if Goretzka is drifting into the box, Kimmich then slides into the middle. When Kimmich sliding into the box, Goretzka comes into the middle. So they've got that sort of attribute which our midfielder probably doesn't. Kovacic is trying to grow. But basically what I'm trying to say is that we do need to evolve next season. If we want to get into a position where we want to play like Man City and Bayern on a season in, season out, we do need players that have that 1v1 quality, which we thought Pulisic did have, and he's shown that he does have that, but he can't.
It's the injury record, It's just the fact that he's not consistently on the pitch for us, and he's obviously inconsistent himself because he's very young. So it's going to be interesting. I definitely do predict that one of these attackers will be unhappy by the end of the season and will probably make way, because I just don't. Something's got to give when you've got Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, Pulisic, Werner. There's no way at the end of the season all four of those players are still happy. I just can't see it. Someone's going to get shafted with minutes. I think I said it on another show and someone quoted it and they loved it. It was like depth at some point, is going to be someone's demise. So it's going to be interesting to see for sure. Cyrus is saying here, Matisse, what will you be putting in your mandate for Saeed's roast on the Big Six? It will be a feast for the ages. Red wine should match well. Well,
I love it.
I don't know. I don't know as of yet. I'll be guesting on another show at 8. I think it will be Never a Foul for TJ. Miz will remember TJ from our group chat. It's been a long time. Yeah. So I'm gonna go on his show on Friday at 8. Nice. So I'll be well stoked for the Big Six. I'm not sure how I'm going to approach the situation. First of all, we have to make sure he's okay. I did ring him. He didn't pick up the phone. I think he was on Don Robbie. Then we exchanged some voice notes yesterday night. I wanted to make sure that he was okay. And then now I have, I've done the nice things. So now I can move on into the feasting publicly. So we'll see. I mean, we
do.
Yeah.
You should go on as a Boy Scout. Go on as a Boy Scout. And then when he comes, I'll just be like, there's a young boy here.
Young boy. I'm a young boy.
William says, why do you want to play like City? I think City, because in the last 3 years, they put up consistently a very high points tally in the Premier League. I think because we've beaten them 3 times. Poor. Yeah, I think because we've beaten them 3 times now, we're starting to take the piss with how City is still a very, very good team. And by the way, their attacking structure is way better than ours. Let's have that right. Like City hit teams for 5-6 on a regular with no striker on the pitch, and they scored 2 goals at Anfield with Gundogan. So we are a great team, we love our team, but let's admit when another team's better in another department. And City, in terms of chance creation, you only have to go and look at the statistics in terms of clear-cut big chances created. City are one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league at that. So we definitely need to be more like City when it comes to creating chances. That is something that, we can learn from them. The points tally that they're putting up in the Premier League, which is where the majority of the games are being played, is ridiculous. It's not so long ago that we were cutting 6th, 7th place in the league under Lampard. So we can be better.
Another thing I want to say really quick. Could you bring up that Bayern Munich team again?
Oh,
okay, no problem. Let's get it up.
1 second.
We're better at City defensively. We're not better than City going forward. So it's not always black and white. That's how I see it. Defensively, I think we're the best team in the league, and that's going to show statistically with the goals conceded and how rock solid we are. But when it comes to attacking wise, we're not better than City attacking wise.
All right, now scroll up to the Barcelona team. What happened to that team?
They got destroyed, bro. They actually tried to park the bus, Younes.
I thought we'd take a little detour. Did they really?
I saw the highlight.
Detour.
Bro, the fall of this club.
This club has plummeted to the depths of hell, brother. The Nou Camp's become a tin pot. What's happened?
They're absolutely done.
I actually put this up on my Instagram story yesterday night because I couldn't actually believe that was the starting 11 for Barcelona. And their bench is horrendous as well. Team, Jordi Alba in central midfield. Is that how they actually lined up? Why is he there? No, surely him and Pedri swapped. Yeah, there's no way Jordi Alba's in centre midfield. I don't know what's going on there. They've got Luke de Jong and Depay. That's the Dutch. That's the Dutch attacking force that failed to qualify for the last major tournament.
My God.
De Jong in midfield, cool. Busquets, who's 35 now. PK, who's 35 now. I don't know who that. I think he's Mexican on the right side centre back. I used to get him on Football Manager.
Eric Garcia or something like that. His name.
Yeah, I used to get him on Football Manager. He used to be a good back in the day on Football Manager 2007 when he was a wonder kid from the Mexican teams. And Eric Garcia on the other side. And then ter Stegen, who's not better than Mendy. And Roberto, just shout out to FIFA for that. And Sergio Roberto. This team is absolutely horrendous. Seriously. It doesn't play the style of football that matches that club. It doesn't have the quality of players that matches that club. They are just... I wish we got them in the group because we could have spanked them, man. We could have spanked them.
Do you know what, Bayern, apparently in Bild or Bild, however you want to pronounce it, the German publication, their headline apparently after the end of this match was, that wasn't really a good sort of run out for our boys. Wanted a little bit more of a competition. I mean, it's as if their players were just really... we could have just put our second team and still could have beaten these guys. That's where Barcelona's at the moment. I mean, I love it. I love the demise. I love the demise.
What goes around comes around, Barca.
I want to see them in the Europa.
Yeah, I want to see. That's what I'm saying. We haven't seen the best of it yet. I need to see them in the Europa League. I need to see them dropping further. This is not enough.
Yeah. Conference League against Spurs, yeah?
Why not? Look, bro, this is the only thing that's stopping me from roasting Saeed is if Spurs do another madness against train stations. You know what I'm saying? That is the one thing that could halt the banter. Because now if Spurs go and lose, I think they're playing Rennes actually. We played Rennes last year in the Champions League group stage. If they lose to them, then then maybe we have to split the banter. But honestly, this Barcelona team is shocking.
Iniesta, Xavi, Ronaldinho, they didn't die for this.
David Villa, Pedro, Messi, Dani Alves,
Puyol,
Puyol,
Mascherano,
my days.
Even Alex Song.
Shame on you, Barcelona.
Yeah, can you imagine losing all that and ending up with this? I actually you can go back and get Chelsea's team right from a few years ago and match them up with this team, and you could say, shit, we've done brilliantly here. Like you can go and get Chelsea's maybe team under Conte in the second season with Bakayoko and all these guys, and you can say, look how far we've come. They've done the complete opposite, and I don't know how you actually screw up this bad. Like, how do you actually go from what they had to this? Oh, I'll tell you how. You offer Griezmann over 100 million transfer fee, crazy wages, and then now you have to get rid of him to Atletico Madrid. So they've made money and they still have him now. And by the way, he never fitted in the team because they had Messi. I don't know how they was. It just didn't make any sense. It's like signing Dybala, but you've already got Messi. It doesn't make any sense.
I'll take Pedri from them.
I would take Pedri. Yeah, I'll take Pedri.
He's the only one I'd say with very decent potential.
I would take. Would you take De Jong or no? I would take De Jong.
As in the midfielder, Frankie De Jong, not Luke De Jong. You're not talking about the striker.
Oh no. Oh, sorry, I had to specify. Yeah, no, not him. No.
Frankie De Jong. Yeah, I would. There was a picture of Jordi Alba who got substituted and then fell asleep in the bench, and there's a picture of him.
He's an old man now. It's important that he catches up on his sleep. Yeah, he's been playing for a long time. Do you know what I mean? I just feel sorry for Jordi Alba, PK, and Busquets because they've seen better days. You know what I mean? They've seen better days, man.
PK had opportunities to leave that club, and he fought Barca through and through, and now he's, now he's in hell.
I mean, they still have Aguero to come into this, Dembele, who's always injured, to come into this, Fati to come into this.
The prime Aguero, yeah, like the 26-year-old Aguero, right?
Yeah. Oh wait, no, they decided to sign another aging player to replace Suarez, who they said was too old, who went on to win the league for their rivals, and then they signed another aging striker who's not as good as Suarez right now.
It's crazy.
Okay, it all makes sense.
The one positive that I think we can take from this Barcelona team is that PK gets to go home and have Shakira.
Yes. So I would never feel sorry for that man.
You're living a good life. You don't need to worry about your football anymore, mate.
I'll never feel sorry for that man.
PK, don't worry about football, man. You've done it all.
OS says I meant 15 goals defensive 05. Okay, now that makes a lot of sense. I thought you meant Tammy. I was thinking too recent. I don't know if that's possible in the modern game, man. That's difficult.
What is
15 goals. He's saying, can we do the 15 goals defensive record from 05 with this team? Defensively, we're very strong, but I don't know if that's possible.
How many goals have we conceded so far?
Just one against Liverpool, and it was a penalty. Yeah. So it should have really been 0, but it is what it is.
No, you know what? Man. I want to say it's tough. It's possible. Yeah. It's possible. This is the closest we'll ever get to it. It's possible.
Yeah.
Considering that I think since Tuchel's come in, we've conceded how many?
It's only West Brom that's done us.
Oh no, the West Brom result. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the West
Brom. Yeah, that was when they ruined it. Yeah, they ruined it. Yeah. They've stat padded.
It's very tough though. It's very, very tough. I reckon if we concede 20, we're fantastic. 15 would be just
freakish.
To do it twice. No one's ever done it. For us to do it twice, incredible. Untouchable.
It's just it only takes one game where you capitulate and it's over. Like you can't capitulate once. That's the thing. And usually every season we have a capitulation somewhere, whether it's a West Brom, a Watford, somewhere we capitulate and we make sure that we get slapped. Like we make sure of it.
Bournemouth are gone, thank God.
Man City.
West Ham sometimes are able to do that as well.
At Upton Park. Sorry, not Upton Park. Olympic Park. Now, they love a good party there with the bubbles and whatnot. So it's going to be incredibly difficult. But I do agree. I think this is our best chance of doing it since we did it. But my God, that's a very, very difficult record to fix. 15 goals. That's 3 West Brom games and nothing else. Like. That's ridiculous. 15
we
goals.
The Champions League record, right, from last season. Four
I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure actually in terms of the history.
Is that a record?
I'm not sure.
I think so.
So that's another incredible one, man. 4 in the whole competition. That's immense.
This super chat saying as well we should raid them for Pedri and Frankie De Jong. So we're agreeing on the players. Yeah. I mean, I'm not desperate to raid Barcelona. I think we just, as long as we go with our current transfer strategy of who we actually need and want and continue with that, I think Koundé seems to be the next one up. Then we move. One other moment that happened yesterday was Anthony Taylor. Thank you for bringing it to my attention, Lee. Did you guys see Anthony Taylor send someone off that he's not even booked twice? This man is do you know what? I don't want to use that word. But
is he gonna get some sort of disciplinary action?
Yeah, you would think.
No, he corrected it there, so the guy didn't end up getting sent off anyway. So
but what was he thinking initially? Like
I don't know. He must have had a drink or something, mate. I don't know. This only
understand.
happens with English refs. This is the point I've been making for so long. It's only us. You never see this from anyone else. You know, Graham Poll, 3 yellow cards at a World Cup. You've given a second yellow to someone who hasn't got a yellow. And then you've given him a red, and then a minute later you've gone, hang on, something's not right. God. Oh wait, I didn't book him. All right, you know what? No red card, just a yellow. Here you go. And you just look like a clown. You look like an idiot, man.
It's like what Matisse said, I think, a couple of weeks ago when we had that kerfuffle with Liverpool. I remember Matisse in his stream said, it's when a referee wants to be the center point of the whole attraction. When
the Mike Dean syndrome.
Yeah. And again, giving a second yellow when you haven't even given a first one, you're trying to create headlines here. Like, what are you doing? What? You know, focus on the game.
He's just incompetent, is what it is. He's just simply incompetent. He needs to be relegated to the Championship, and he needs to be taken out of the Champions League and put in the Europa League. Why is he not being relegated? Huh?
Why punish Championship, bro? Even more.
Well, someone's got to take it because he's not. Unless we're removing him from the sport. Like, why is there no? Again, teams put in poor performances, they get relegated. Why is his poor performances not getting him relegated to a lower division or a lower level? I don't understand why he's still refereeing the top games in the top competitions when he's clearly not a good referee. It's clear as day. How many more incidents does this man have to have? We're not the only fan base that complains about him. It feels like it is because we're in our own bubble. But there's a lot of fan bases that complain about Anthony Taylor and his incompetence. He's not good enough. It's as simple as that. You can't be making howler. If this was just a flash in the pan, people would laugh, we'd move on and whatever. He does this almost every other week. He makes a serious error. You know, he is honestly incompetent. And I don't understand how he's still... I don't even understand how he's even getting Champions League games. Put him in the Conference League. Put him in the Conference League. Like, why?
UEFA keep picking these guys as well. You know, they're bad enough here. And it's the same refs. It's the same ones. Not to say every referee here is bad. They're not. But the ones that are actually half decent don't get into European competition. You know, like an example, we've had Graham Poll, who used to make all sorts of headlines. Howard Webb, because he's a closet Man United fan. Decent ref, but closet Man United fan. Clattenburg.
Oh, Clattenburg was
Mike
a problem.
Dean.
Shit. Bloody hell, that name give me PTSD.
Mike Dean, Anthony Taylor. All these guys are being picked to officiate at UEFA competition. Why does a Kevin Friend not get picked?
True. He's not a big name. That's why he's not a star.
He's a decent referee as far as I'm concerned. He's very lenient. He lets play go. Doesn't have any scandal. Why don't we see him in a Champions League game? It's always the scandalous ones.
It's not a big name.
But when you look at the English referees here compared to the others, we're a mockery. When you look at German refs, Spanish refs, Italian refs, French refs, Dutch refs, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. It's always us. And it's always because we put these incompetent referees on the European stage, and they're bad enough in this country. But the ones that are half decent don't get a look in. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And it's almost as if they're promoting the scandalous ones because they create the headlines. It's like a clickbait thing. It's like you see an article with a headline, you click on it, and then it's totally different article. Like, what happened? What happened? This is not why I came here. You said it was this, and now you're giving me this. So it's like that. I feel like these referees are getting promoted because they're scandalous, because it creates that, that television sort of hype. Like, oh, look what happened. We're gonna get more views. Maybe Kevin Friend. You need to start doing some madness.
Start an OnlyFans. Maybe that'll get your popularity up.
It's true though, because the biggest names are usually the most controversial ones because they're the ones always in the headlines. Kevin Friend, I haven't heard that name in years. Why? Probably because he doesn't give me any reason to it doesn't give me any reason to think about him because he just does his job and keeps it moving. He's not in the spotlight. I've been calling for it for a while. Managers do post-match interviews, players do post-match interviews, referees should be doing post-match interviews as well, or press conferences. If you want to do a press conference for them, and instead of an interview, you can do a press conference. You can have the linesman, both the linesmen, you can have the fourth official and the referee all sitting along the table, and we ask them questions as journalists or whatever you want to throw out. That's how it should be. And that would be brilliant because now there's accountability. And you make a mistake, we're going to talk about it. And if you have a good game, we're going to talk about it. And then we can get your perspective. You know, it would be actually quite fun to have that, because it's not all about negativity. If you have a good game, we can, you know, talk about your moments, but also you can talk about then the players and your perspectives and what you thought maybe of the game, you know, when you was refereeing it from your viewpoint, because nobody has a viewpoint like a ref. You're not on the ball, but you're on that pitch, and you get to see things and angles that managers are not going to see, other players are not going to see. Well, maybe the players will see it if they're not on the ball, but you're getting a good viewpoint. So that would be an interesting interview. But yeah, I just think we need to have this set up, man, because it's needed.
That's a very, very good point about interviewing and putting them under the spotlight. Because you know what, in a good way, that might actually spur a generation, I think, to try and become football referees as well.
Yeah,
you know?
it might do. Yeah.
I feel like, you know, no one grows up going, I want to be a football referee when I'm older. They either want to be a footballer or they end up joining the police or something. And then they go, oh, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go and ref. And that's, there isn't much talk about refereeing as a profession, and I feel like if we start getting that in motion and, you know, scouting starts to become a thing in terms of referees, maybe that will help the talent in terms of good refereeing and up the standard in this country, because it's poor. When you look at other countries, maybe that is a way, but interviewing referees would be amazing. Could you imagine? Mike Dean, why did you celebrate the Tottenham goal? See what he says. That would be class, you know.
Someone's saying it's got to be directly after the game, so they don't have time to maybe gather their thoughts.
Yeah.
And don't prepare some sort of you know, package as to, you know, some sort of excuse folder that they will bring to the table. If you do it straight after the game, you just get the instant raw reaction. Maybe they're still hot-headed as well. It would have been great back in the day where they used to get shouted at by Sir Alex Ferguson, because then we would have had some angry referees who have just been absolutely destroyed by Sir Alex coming into the interview room just like hot-headed and like, oh, just like, I've just been shouted at by Sir Alex. It would have been brilliant.
You imagine Mourinho come like infiltrating a referee press conference, like, you had a good game. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
You had a good game.
Yeah.
Good on you. You did well. Yeah.
It would be brilliant.
And then as he's going, he's like,
oh God, Coded Photography wants us to talk about Manchester United. I did mock Manchester United a lot on the video last night because I felt in my review there wasn't too much to review. I mean, of course, there was a lot to talk about Chelsea-wise, which is what we've spoken about for the best part of the show. But I had to take advantage of laughing at Man United in my review as well, because they just lost to Young Boys. We'll talk about it briefly before we go, even though it is an all-you-can-eat Chelsea show, because we are so far away from the Tottenham game. I feel like it's a bit too premature to even start talking about that. We don't even know, you know, who's available, etc. It's not a Thursday. Ollie, man, you're 1-0 up against Young Boys, right? And you're down to 10 men. What do? Well, in my opinion, probably take off Ronaldo. You know, he's 36 years old. You've got one less player on the pitch and you're leading. You know, you probably need runners that can cover ground. You know, you probably need someone who's a little bit more mobile. And it's, for me, he doesn't have the balls to take off Ronaldo in that situation, because Ronaldo's bigger than him. And it's just facts. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And then you take him off when you're 1-1. And now this is where he could potentially come in clutch to score that winner and do the Ronaldo thing that he does. So you don't take him off. And then you take him off when kind of makes sense to maybe even keep him on. You're already 1-1. You've already conceded. Like, you may as well leave that threat up the pitch to give Young Boys something to think about at this point, because this is clutch time. Sancho got hooked again. It's not something I'm taking pleasure in, because I do like the player and I did enjoy. But when I see, it's very hard not to participate in the slander when I saw what happened to my boy Kai. And I'm sure Pepe Arsenal fans will agree as well. So he's getting hooked. He's dropping traffic light colours on that sofa score sheet, and they're not green. So it's a difficult long day for Jadon Sancho. I mean, what did you guys make of the match? Did you get to watch it?
I didn't get to watch it. It was so early in the morning. I mean, the Chelsea game was at 5 a.m., let alone the Man United game.
Wow.
But I did get to see the sort of the live scores whilst I was sort of streaming the chaos that was transpiring. But this is what I've said, that Ole is blessed that he has a team full of superstars, but the biggest issue is still Ole. That's Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
He's hoping, just praying to God that every game these individuals just produce and get him out of jail. Because I personally don't think tactically he's someone who can elevate Man United to the next level or the levels they used to be back with Sir Alex Ferguson, right? So, and now the matter has even got lot more complicated, as you've touched, Matisse, that Ronaldo comes in. Well, who's really the manager now? Because let's be honest, Solskjaer, you may be the manager, but Cristiano Ronaldo runs the joint. Do you know what I mean?
He was on the touchline giving out instructions, Cristiano. Yesterday. I don't know if you saw.
I said he would do this. He did this for Portugal. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
he would do this.
Ronaldo probably sets out the starting lineup and gives it to the officials. That's the starting. Like, he writes down who starts and whatnot, because it's too much of a big character. I mean, look, good on them for getting Ronaldo, because he was literally close to going to City. Okay, you've done a madness. You got Ronaldo. He's going to bang in goals for you. There's no doubt about that. But I think Solskjaer needs to go now. It is.
Yeah, that's it.
He can't stay there.
Should have went after the Europa League game.
Yeah, because now you are not going to be respected, my man, because it is. I mean, this is my perspective. I know there'll probably be Man United fans going to say, "Oh, Miz, you know nothing about Man United." Of course, I don't know nothing about Man United. And they may say, "Oh, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a legend of the club and this and that." But I'm telling you,
no, don't worry, they're not
Ronaldo
saying that. Don't worry.
Ronaldo is a global, specimen. So.
The thing is, it's too big for Oli. And as soon as they lost yesterday, the conversation started. Imagine if they had a Conte or a Zidane, right? That would.
This conversation has been happening already.
Different. And it has been. But yesterday just proved Oli in and out, just Oli. Because as you said, like 1-0 up, could possibly take off Ronaldo, but he goes to 1-1. Then you take him off. You bring on Lingard, who then gives the assist to Young Boys for the winner. You just look like a plum. Like, Lingard fully put you in the mud here, Ollie. That is a full-on. Ollie has pretty much cost United that result yesterday because of that change. If he had not made that change, United probably would have won.
Younes, would you say that even with a man down, Man United should be beating Young Boys? That Man United team should be beating Young Boys.
Hands down. And I said this on the watch long because I came onto the watch long and I still had about 5 minutes of that game and I reacted to when Young Boys scored the winner. That was amazing. But I said, when you look at Chelsea with 10 men away at Anfield to Liverpool with a full team, and we did what we did, and then United are 10 men away at Young Boys and they lose. I'm sorry, there's levels.
Yeah, there's levels to this game. But again, when you go down as 10 men, that's all about tactics, organization, structure, manager know-how. And the fact that that's why what we did against Liverpool was so impressive. You're away from home at Anfield against Salah, Mane, all of these attackers, Jota comes on, a top Liverpool team, and you survive the whole 45 minutes and keep them at 1-1. And by the way, you've basically conceded the goal anyway because it's a penalty. So you with the 10 men, you basically haven't conceded an open play with the 10 men for the whole half. Man United were ahead when they were with 10 men. They weren't level. They were ahead. Yeah. They didn't concede a penalty like us. They were ahead and they couldn't even get the draw. So we're not even talking about Man United going on to win this game. We're talking about Man United actually allowing the whole score to flip. Because they're incompetent. They're run by someone again that is incompetent, and he's in a job that is too big for him. It's clear as day.
Also, he's not alone. We've got to remember this. Ollie's not like, I'd say, Arteta. Arteta is alone. He's got to do all of that, I think, himself, right? And it's too big for him. But Ollie has Alex Ferguson at board level there at the club. He's there. You want a helping hand, go up to his office. You got Mike Phelan as your number 2, who was Alex Ferguson's number 2 for years, right? And that's his number 2. You've got the tools there. I'm sorry, you've got no excuse. You've got no excuse. Yeah. And now you've got Ronaldo with you. Like, come on. It's a simple. You should not be losing that game yesterday. You shouldn't.
They've got, by the way, as I was saying, they've got Atlanta and Benfica in that group. Yeah. I hope they get done.
No, it's Atlanta and Villarreal, isn't it? Villarreal in the group.
Oh, sorry, Atlanta and Villarreal.
The team that they lost to on Villarreal, difficult because we've already come up against Villarreal, very difficult to play against. And Atalanta score goals for fun.
Yep.
So imagine if they don't get out of that group.
I would love it. We should have an emergency
show if they don't get out.
Just laughing at United.
Just laughing. The whole street.
If they don't get out of the group, Oh my God. Can you imagine? But the thing is, like, if they don't get out of that group, that is embarrassing.
I could be like, United, you will never get this. You will never get this.
But this is like this team and maybe this fan base online. They wanted Bayern Munich. Bring us Bayern. Bring us Real Madrid. Bring us the big boys. We're ready. We got Ronaldo. Bring us the big boys.
Beat the young boys, then think about the old boys.
Let's start with the young boys first. You work up to the big boys afterwards.
First the graduates, the undergrads,
the boys,
the undergrads.
Someone said Peter says on a funny note, Rashford would have been proud of Lingard for assisting young boys. I see what you're doing there. You're a funny guy. You're a funny guy. Oh nice man, they've got so much depth in their attack. I mean, it's crazy, absolutely insane. Saj put a bet on for them to for Ronaldo to get a hat trick in that game.
Oh my God.
Little did he know Ronaldo would get hooked.
How much?
20 quid.
Oh.
He thought he was rolling in the money. He just did Erling Haaland to score a hat trick against Gibraltar, and obviously that happened by the skin of his teeth.
Now I'm going to win it all.
Yeah, now I'm going to go again with these top strikers going up against
how the gamblers get you, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm telling you, we spoke about it on Cast Side when we did a podcast together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we spoke about it. Yep. This is how they get you. This is how they get you. This is why I don't get involved.
You win your first one and you think, wow, I think I can win it every single time now.
And then bang, next thing you know, game over. I just think it's incredible that
next thing you know, you're homeless.
They've brought in Champions League Ronaldo, the greatest goal scorer in Champions League history, and Champions League Varane. If they don't get into the Champions League knockout stages with those two,
liquidate.
But you know what, Matisse? I'd love to see Barcelona and Man United in Europa.
That would be brilliant. Yeah,
I
would love to see it.
Clash of the has-beens.
Yes.
Yeah, love it.
It would be lovely. Someone said talk about Gary Neville. I don't know what there is to talk about Gary Neville. I didn't see anything on Gary Neville, so there's nothing more on that one.
His clashes with Jamie Carragher on Twitter are hilarious.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
I thought it was just funny. Like, Gary. Gary, no.
They're really. Do you know what? Do you know what it is with them? They're sending serious shots. Like, they're not jokes.
Yeah.
Proper shots they're sending.
Lineker and Carragher the other day. I think you retweeted, Younes. You said something. You had a laughing
quote tweeted. Yeah.
No, that was Neville Carragher. That was Neville Carragher.
I thought it was Gary Lineker and Carragher. There was one, and Lineker
was
saying
about the first class cutlery thing on the train.
Yeah, that was Gary.
Carragher.
Yeah. There was one where Lineker
people
was
like
saying,
Neville, relax. You're not exactly the working class. Like, come on.
There was one where Lineker was saying to Carragher that, Jamie, is everything all right? You're fighting on every occasion these days on social media or on set and whatnot. And yeah, as Matisse said, like these guys are, they don't mess about. They give it back.
But it's like they're still friends. It's still like they're close. I don't know what that relationship is. It's a bit mad.
I think it is all bants, but
yeah, I think so. But it's serious.
They're sending proper shots, like proper shots, not diluted shots, like proper real life and true shots as well. So it's the fight between the privileged to try and pretend that they're homeless. It's quite hilarious. I mean,
exactly.
if they want to be really working class, they can come and stay with me for a weekend. I'll show them what working class really is. I'll get the blow up air mattress. They can sleep on my floor, and we can really do this properly. If they want to really, they can even vlog it and put on the overlap if they want to. We tried being poor for 2 days. Look at us.
But Carragher didn't try any of that. Carragher was honest and straight up, I felt. He was just being real, right? Because he was like putting up that first class sort of life. And it's like, fair enough. Okay, yeah, you've made it, cool. And Gary Neville's like, no. Like, we are poor. Like, and he put up this, like, I don't know, fake cutlery. And he was in first class. And it's like, what are you doing? You're in first class, mate.
Mad.
The whole thing is bizarre. The whole thing's bizarre.
Do you know what? Another thing as well is I don't feel like at the time I really deeped it, but those guys picking up the awards that they did before we wrap up, like all of them standing in a row before the game with their awards. It was just like, when you go back and look at it, it's actually incredible. It really is. And really, there's an argument to be made that maybe a defender could be roped in there as well. But just with those four, you know, Tuchel, Kante, Jorginho, and Mendy, it is ridiculous the domination that we've just come from with those four standing there with their awards for, you know, goalkeeper of the year, midfielder of the year, coach of the year, and player of the year, men's player of the year.
Imperious. It looks so good, man.
Rudiger should have been there, man. I don't care. Rudiger should have been there.
Yeah, I agree. I really do. I really do, man. I mean, imagine if Rudiger was standing there as defender of the year, we would have nearly had a clean sweep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would have been incredible. And he deserves it because he's been incredible. Someone saying about the contract, listen, there's nothing more to say on that until it gets, we've kind of spoken about that multiple times now on this show. Until he signs it or doesn't sign it, then there's nothing really to add. It's simple as that. Either he signs or he doesn't sign at this point. And I don't feel like you're going to get that confirmation anytime soon. So you may as well buckle up and enjoy the ride, because you're not going to get Rudiger confirming that he signed a contract for a few months. I think this is going to get dragged out to the wire. Any final things you want to put out, Miz, before we go?
And do you know what? I know we always talk about what's going to happen with Rudiger. Is he going to sign? Is he not going to sign? Yeah, he will sign. No, he won't. I'm starting to think about it in this way, that if it is his last season, let's make it a really good one for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's win the Premier League for him. Let's go again for the Champions League for him. Do you know what I mean? Because it could be the last one. And that's, you know what, I'm as much as I don't want it to be, and I've advocated here that I want him to stay, but if it is, life moves on, and let's make it the best one for him. So, yeah.
That's very mature.
Yeah.
He hasn't won a Premier League yet. He hasn't won a Premier League yet.
Do you know what, Younes? Like, a player could have ambitions of earning more money, and there's Real Madrid, there's Bayern Munich, there's PSG. People need to think about their family, right? So Rudiger's got a young family, I believe 2 kids or 3 kids or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, he wants to earn heaps of money, and Chelsea might not want to give him that. And that's okay. Life moves on. You've done well. Hopefully we give you everything this particular season, and new chapter.
We get Miz Ball, and we get philosophy with Miz. That's lovely.
Imagine after the third time of trying, Levi Colwell actually gets into the first team after Gurhi and Tomori and actually stays. It would be quite incredible. He's having a great loan at Huddersfield, I must say, as well. Really, really, really good loan. He's doing very well out there. Another person who's shining is Gallagher, putting Tottenham to the sword as well with the assists to Zaha. You love to see it, people. You really do love to see it. Tottenham getting slapped up, and 2 of our academy graduates, obviously Gurhi there as well, keeping a clean sheet against Harry Kane. So,
Matisse, we got a scouting report on that, yeah?
We still slagging on
this. Are you guys going to go to a Palace game?
Yeah, we should have went.
You know, I'll even sponsor you guys to go to a Palace. Like, find some cheap tickets, obviously. Get yourself some cheap tickets.
It's only around the corner. Like, we should actually be going, for real.
I want you guys to go to a Palace game, do a vlog together, and then we play the vlog here. Honestly, it'll be epic. It will be epic situation. You don't need to cheer for Palace, but at least cheer for Gallagher. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I can't cheer for Eagles.
Set that up.
I mean, yeah, the cheerleaders can do that at the start. Do they still have the cheerleaders at the start of the game?
They do, yeah.
Do they?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That's never going away.
I find it so odd. It feels like an American sport when they do that, but it is what it is. Younes, any final thoughts before we go, bro?
Final thoughts. Happy days. 3 points. Bring on the Spurs. United can't beat Boy Scouts. Lovely jubbly. And Arsenal are dead and buried, I think. Oh, no, Arsenal won a football match. Amazing. Miracle.
Yes, they really did.
I don't know how they did that, man.
This person is desperate for Ronaldo and Messi debate here, because obviously they debated it on the Sky Sports. I don't have the energy for this debate. I'm not even interested in it. I feel like it's overplayed now, overdone. At this point, they're both coming towards the end of their career. They're almost done. Just appreciate them and enjoy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really care who thinks who's better at this point. I've heard this debate for the last almost 2 decades. I don't care anymore. Like, whatever you think, cool, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't care about this debate anymore. It's not, doesn't interest me. I saw them trying to force it on Sky Sports. No. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're two different types of players. Appreciate what they can do and what they can't do. You know, whether it's Ronaldo having the weak foot that Messi doesn't, having the heading ability that Messi doesn't, or it's Messi being able to play make and pick up the ball from God knows where and take it. You know, people are here talking about international trophies versus this. But I just don't care.
Do you know what, Matisse? I really like how this brother here said, "Your opinion, please," with Thierry. I was like, come on, I really need to know. Settle this for me.
Why do you need to know? I don't understand. It's been going on for too long. Yeah, it's one of those things that have just been going on for too long. The debate. You know what?
Just to satisfy his needs, right? Just without explaining, one name and that's it. All of us will agree, just one name and that's it. No explanation.
Yeah, no explanation. Cool, Messi. No explanation.
Ronaldo.
Shit. All right, let's move on.
Now we need an explanation.
See, look, now you're tempting me to want to talk about it. Miz, let them know what content you... No, we're not doing it.
See what you did.
Do you know what? I heard it, yeah?
That brother's smart. That brother's smart. He knew what he was getting us into.
Why did I entertain that?
No, bro, not doing it.
Red flag his name.
Not doing it. Because I know they're tempting me. They're trying, because now they're like, oh, Matisse will bite. Nope, not biting. Miz, what content you got coming up? Let us know where to find you. No chance. Yeah. No chance.
Nothing for today. Obviously, after this, I just wanted to rest up, as the boys will say. When you do watch along and then a review, it's heavy. It's a heavy day.
You did you did a stream afterwards.
Yeah.
So I actually
did three. I actually did three. I did a pre-match because the boys were at the stadium, so we showed the training and all of that, and it was good to get the vibe from Stamford Bridge. Then I did the watch along, and then I did the review. So
how long was you streaming? Like 5 hours?
So I woke up at 4 and I finished about 8 a.m. So 4 hours. 4 hours. And that was heavy. And I said to the live chat, I was like, I said that we've got the all you can eat. And then after that, I'm just resting. Tomorrow, I've got Spurs fan Henry Wright. You guys might know who he is, Henry Wright.
Yep.
I'm catching up with him, but not on a live stream. I don't like always doing live streams because all these comments and stuff. So I'm going to do a pre-recording, have a catch up with him about Spurs, which I will then drop on Friday. And then, no live streams tomorrow either. Just a pre-recording that I'm going to do, and then I'm dropping on Friday, and then obviously again on Friday. So double upload on Friday, where you get the Spurs perspective from Henry Wright. And then straight after the press conference, you'll get my preview.
There you go.
So that's what's coming up. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Make sure you guys go and subscribe. I'm sure a link will get thrown in there very soon. Younes, bro, let us know what's going on, what content you got coming up as well.
So today there's what was meant to be Reddit Monday, but because I'd done a preview for the game yesterday, Reddit Wednesday today. So Reddit video, and then looking forward to Spurs. I guess it's going to be just normal content up until the Spurs game, and then watch along, review, bish, bash, bosh, go on to the next one. Heavy schedule in September. So, yeah.
Yeah, 6 games, isn't it? Before 6 games in total in between the 2 international breaks, I think. We've had 2 played now. Got Tottenham City coming up as well. Aston Villa in the Cup. What's the other one? Is there one more game that I'm missing out
Tottenham, Villa in the Cup, Man City, Juventus.
Who?
Wow, Juventus. Yeah.
Why Juventus?
They're in our
going
group,
away
bro.
to Juventus.
Who?
Juventus.
Why would we play Juventus?
Because we're playing a thing called the Champions League, mate.
They're in our group.
We're in our group.
Are they?
Yeah, bro.
Good morning, Matisse.
Really?
Please, bro. Zenit, Malmo.
Oh, yeah, they are. I forgot. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I just forgot who was even in our group for a second. I was like, yo, shit, who else is actually in this group?
What are we doing in Serie A? Younes is mustard.
I was like, oh, shit, Juventus. Do you know what it is? When you say Juventus, they sound like a top team, innit? So I was like, oh, shit. How could I ever forget about Juventus? Because they're not as good now. They just completely passed me under the radar. Just move along.
Matisse thought we're just chilling out in Serie A for the week. Do you know what I mean? Just exhibition match.
Yeah, we're going to Serie A to just have a kickabout.
Juventus. But they beat Malmo, didn't they? Absolutely slapped the shit out of them. But yeah, I was wondering why people on the TL talking about Juventus. I was like, doesn't make no sense. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, well, I look forward to that match. I'm in the clouds. Morata returns. Looking forward to that. That should be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Lukaku's going to show him
Levels.
Bring it on.
Levels.
Show him.
You better
And
not
Vernon's
dunk
going to
on
be
us
there
now.
laughing like, I've got Lukaku.
Sitting on the bench laughing. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe before I lose my mind quite clearly, not even knowing who's in our group anymore. Content-wise, I'm going to watch one of the Champions League games, I think, on Twitch today. I'm not sure which one, but I'll look at the fixtures and see which one is the best one and watch that.
Yeah, Liverpool AC.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I think that's the one then. Yeah,
Tomorrow
Liverpool AC sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, I'll be doing something on Twitch. Link is in the description for Twitch. Go and follow that if you wish. You had issues with your watch along, didn't you, Younes? I was scared there when I was doing mine. You said that you had to halfway through go through over to Twitch as well.
The last one, Villa, yeah, it just all went to a green screen and all you could hear was audio. It turned into a radio show.
Because I was scanning for YouTubers who's done watch alongs. I've seen Miz done one. Obviously, Monster didn't. There wasn't many. And you have to delete. I was like, where's Younes?
No, after it was meant to be a video like it always is, you can play back. It turned into a 10-minute video of just a green screen and my voice. And I was like, I've got to delete this.
Wow.
But thankfully, that was just that time. Yesterday was fine. So
did they all come over to Twitch then?
Yeah, quite a few. About 1,000, I think, jumped onto Twitch. So I was like, okay, at least fair play.
That'll do. So yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe to all the channels. Links are in the description as always. Smash the likes. The road to 18,000 continues. And I'll see you tomorrow for content. I think London Clubs Carnage will be tomorrow. Toby will be back from Greece. And then we'll talk about Conference League duties for him. And obviously, whatever else has happened in the Champions League tonight, we'll talk about tomorrow at 1 o'clock, London Clubs Carnage. And then Saturday and Friday, we're going to go for just videos as we slowly move this channel to more videos. And then obviously Sunday will be streams. I'm probably going to start doing my preview streams on game day of the morning of the game. So it's just going to be heavy stream on the one day with the watch along and then the review as well if we get the review stream. So I'm just going to start sandwiching things together. Until then, people, live life and prosper and try and enjoy yourselves tonight with the rivals playing in the Champions League. Hopefully we get some goals. In a bit, people. Peace.